Cryotraveler arrive as an exciting main DPS or quick swap burst support unit. His core mechanic revolves around stacking system called Frostglow, along with converting standard superconduct and Cryo-Swirl reactions into their stellar versions. When Cryo meets Electro, it triggers superconduct reaction. However, if you have characters like Sandrone, ODETTE, and Cryotraveler in your team, they can convert the standard superconduct reaction into stellar conduct. When stellar conduct is triggered, it creates what is called a pole star field. This field will record every single hit from your cryo or electro attacks and convert them into stacks, which you can see above your active character's HP bar. These stacks last for 4 seconds and will continuously refresh. For the exact details of the stellar conduct reaction and the buff values you gain per stack, you can see them on the screen. When Animo meets Cryo, it triggers Cryo-Swirl reaction. If your team includes a character whose passive convert Cryo-Swirl into Stellar-Swirl, which as of patch 7.0 is limited to Sandrone, ODETTE, or the Cryotraveler, every Animo Cryo reaction will trigger new reaction called Stellar-Swirl. When Stellar-Swirl is triggered, it creates a pole star wind cluster. After a short delay, this wind cluster explodes, dealing AoE cryo damage and can critical. At the time of making this video, information regarding Stellar-Swirl is still very limited, so we won't talk about it. At level 90, Traveler has 212 base attack, which is low for an attack scaling character. Traveler 24% attack as Ascension bonus. This means you will need more effort into farming crit rate and crit damage substats to reach an ideal stats. However, even though the base attack is low, keep in mind that after you complete Archon Quest Nod Cry Act 8, your Traveler receives permanent stat buff. This stat buff depends entirely on the elements your Traveler has unlocked so far. Unlocking Animo grants a 10% crit rate bonus, and so on, until you reach Snezhnaya and resonate with Cryo element to gain 20% crit damage buff. No matter which elemental mode your Traveler currently choose, all unlocked buffs remain active at the same time. As of patch 7.0, Cryotraveler will dominantly be played in Stellar Conduct teams, so our discussion from here will focus on Stellar Conduct. Traveler normal attack remains identical to his previous elements. Nothing special for the attack animation or damage, but one of Cryotraveler's passive skills provides Cryo infusion to his normal, charged, and plunging attacks, along with some damage bonus. Because of this, you must upgrade this talent if you got planned to using Cryotraveler as on-field DPS. When pressed, Traveler performs a forward thrust and dealing cryo damage. He then summons an object called a Frost-Pierced Star, which remains on the field and follows the active character. As long as the Frost-Pierced Star is active, it periodically attacks nearby enemies with continuous cryo damage every few seconds. Now, if you are currently in the Radiant's Stellar Conduct state, meaning you are inside the Pole Star field, the continuous attacks from the Frost-Pierced Star will stop. Instead, they convert into coordinated attacks that trigger whenever your Traveler's normal, charged, or plunging attacks hit an opponent. This means your Cryotraveler can simply spam attacks, and the Frost-Pierced Star will instantly follow up with extra additional hit. Unfortunately, the skill description does not specify whether there is an internal cooldown or not for this coordinated attacks. This skill has 12 seconds duration with 15 seconds cooldown. Furthermore, every time Frost-Pierced Star hits an enemy, whether through continuous attacks or coordinated attacks, Traveler gains 1 stack called Frost Glow, up to maximum 8 stacks. These Frost Glow stacks are used to increase damage and hit instances of Traveler's elemental burst. When you are out of combat, your Frost Glow stacks will decay and disappear after 30 seconds. Out of combat simply means anytime you aren't actively fighting or confronting enemies. This elemental skill doesn't deal stellar damage, it only deals normal cryo damage with low damage percentages. That's why its function more like for cryo application. Traveler throws an ice spear that deals 3 hits of cryo damage. So normally, this spear only deals cryo damage. However, if you are under Radiant Stellar Conduct or Radiant Stellar-Swirl status, the Ice Spear's damage converts into stellar damage, matching your current Radiant status. This is also where your Frostglow stacks from Elemental skill come into play. For every single stack of Frostglow you possess, Traveler's Ice Spear receives 5% damage bonus. If you manage to collect all 8 stacks, the total bonus damage will be 5% multiplied by 8, giving you a massive 40% damage bonus for his burst with cryo-type damage. If your Traveler's burst, dealing stellar damage, it will use another percentages from his burst talent description. I can't show the exact table due to YouTube strikes. To maximize his potential, you should always pair Cryotraveler with other characters who support stellar damage. If you cast Traveler's Burst at maximum Frostglow stacks, meaning all 8 stacks, this burst will unleash 2 extra additional hits. Instead of dealing normal 3 hits upon being thrown, casting it at 8 stacks increases the total hit count to 5, this nearly doubling the Traveler's Burst total damage. So when playing Cryotraveler, always try to maximize that 8 stacks before casting Burst. It's super easy to build them up. Just spam your cryo-infused normal or charged attacks. Lastly, this burst has 15 seconds cooldown and 60 energy cost. If Traveler is in the party, all superconduct reactions triggered will convert it into stellar conduct, and all cryo-swirl reactions will convert it into Stellar-Swirl. Additionally, every 100 attack Traveler had will increase his stellar conduct and Stellar-Swirl damage by 0.35%, up to a maximum bonus of 7%. This means you need to aim for at least 2000 attack to maximize this buff. If Traveler is under Radiant Stellar Conduct status, meaning he's standing inside Polestar Field, after using Elemental skill, Traveler's normal, charged, and plunging attacks gain cryo infusion that cannot be overridden by any other elemental infusion. Also, 80% of the Traveler's total attack will added as flat damage bonus to these cryo-infused, normal, charged, and plunging attacks. Traveler's elemental mastery is increased by 8% of his attack. Up to 160 elemental mastery can be gained in this way. This also means you need to reach at least 2000 attack. This passive talent enhances the Traveler's charged attack, following the pattern of previous elements. Every time party member deals stellar damage, Traveler gains 1 stack. These stacks can be acquired once every 2 seconds, up to maximum 3 stacks. Once you have accumulated 3 stacks, simply unleash his charged attack. It will deal higher damage and instantly grant you 2 extra stacks of Frostglow. This special charged attack can be triggered once every 15 seconds. While all versions of Traveler share this special charged attack mechanic, the only difference is how the stacks are accumulated. Top priority is Elemental Burst, aiming for at least level 9. Crown is optional, as the damage difference isn't that high. Next, level up Normal Attack Talent. Since Traveler relies on cryo-infused normal and charged attacks, you should bring this talent to at least level 8. If you are using Traveler as off-field support, skip this talent. For Elemental skill, it just a skip or upgrade max to level 6, since it just dealing normal cryo damage and the percentages are very low. Aim 125% to 140% ER for on-field DPS Traveler. Because Traveler is the on-field unit, he can catch those energy particles and easily fulfill his own burst. If you are using Traveler as off-field support, aim around 180% ER to ensure you can cast burst in every rotation. Just like other Stellar Conduct DPS, best artifact is 4 pieces. Disenchantment, use attack % sands, attack % goblet, and crit circlet. For substats, prioritize crit first, followed by attack, then EM or ER. 4 pieces disenchantment set increases stellar conduct damage by 40% and grants 16% crit rate while Traveler is on the field. If Traveler is off field, you still get the 40% stellar conduct damage, but the 16% crit rate buff cannot be triggered. If you don't have 4 pieces disenchantment set yet, you can use new stellar support set that release in patch 7.0. Although this set is more for stellar support, it still works well as temporary placeholder for your main DPS while you farm for disenchantment. Additionally, if you already own 4-piece Gilded Dream set with great perfect stats, you can use it. For total stats, a minimum 2000 attack and at least 60% crit rate, capping it around 84% crit rate. This is because when you add the 16% crit rate bonus from Disenchantment set, a baseline of 60% crit rate will jumps to 76%, while the 84% crit rate reaches a perfect 100% guaranteed crit. For crit damage, aim as high as possible with minimum numbers at 160%. Keep your ER around 125% to 140%. There is no strict numbers for Elemental Mastery. Just take whatever you can get from substats or weapons. If you build Traveler as support unit, go with 4 pieces Tenacity or 4 pieces Noblesse. If you run Traveler as on-field Stellar-Swirl DPS, his best artifact is 4 pieces Scarlet Proof, which release in patch 7.0. We won't dive into that build, as its current performance is relatively bad, maybe due to no dedicated unit that can properly utilize Stellar-Swirl. Best weapon for Traveler is his new signature sword in patch 7.0, which appears to be unlocked behind a specific questline. This weapon features 608 base attack and 33.1% crit rate. At Refinement 1, its passive effect reads, when the Traveler equips this, they will restore 3 elemental energy after hitting an opponent, and their attack will also increase by 16% for the next 8 seconds. This effect can occur once every 5 seconds and can be triggered even when the character is off-field. Once you reach Refinement 2 and beyond, this weapon unlocks an incredible additional effect. Crit damage increases by 6% for every element Traveler have resonated with. This 6% crit damage per element only activates at Refinement 2 or higher. Since your Traveler can resonate with all 7 elemental powers in Teyvat, this provides a massive bonus of 42% crit damage. This makes it an incredibly powerful weapon, offering high base attack, high crit rate, high crit damage, an attack percentage bonus, and built-in energy restoration. Keep in mind that all of these amazing passive effects can only be triggered if the weapon is only equipped to the Traveler himself. If you put this sword on any other character, it functions purely as a stat stick providing 608 base attack and 33.1% crit rate, as the passive can't be triggered. According to current information, we can only reach Refinement 3 for this weapon during patch 7.0, with the remaining refinements being distributed after patch 7.0. Second best option is ODETTE's signature weapon. It features 674 base attack and 22.1% crit rate. Its passive effect triggers whenever the equipper's elemental skill hits an opponent. This is incredibly easy for Cryotraveler to maintain because he have continuous and coordinated attacks ability from elemental skill. It grants 24% attack bonus, 40% crit damage bonus specifically for stellar type attacks, and built-in energy restoration. All of these effects can still be triggered even if the user is off-field. Third best option is Absolution. Provides 674 base attack and 44.1% crit damage. Its passive further boosts crit damage by an additional 20%. Even though it functions purely as a stat stick for the Traveler, it is in solid strong stat stick. Any other weapons are not mentioned here, meaning perform worse or a new weapons got released after patch 7.0. Best team comp consists of Cryotraveler, ODETTE, Yaimiko, and C6 Alyosha. You can equip 4 pieces Disenchantment on both Cryotraveler and Yaimiko, run 4 pieces New Stellar Support set on ODETTE, and put 4 pieces Noblesse Oblige on Alyosha. If you don't have C6 Alyosha, you can substitute him with Cheeky at any constellation and equip her with 4 pieces Tenacity. Cryotraveler's Teamcomp is identical with teams built for Sandrone, Ryothesly, Cyno, or any other stellar conduct DPS. You simply swap the main on-fielder with Cryotraveler. Here's the full list of viable Teamcomp for Cryotraveler. Let's take our ideal team with Cryotraveler, ODETTE, Yae Miko, and Alyosha as example. You open the rotation by using Yae Miko's elemental skill 3 times, switch to ODETTE and cast her elemental skill followed by her special skill. Next switch to Alyosha and cast his elemental skill, then immediately use his elemental burst. Lastly, switch to your Cryotraveler and cast his elemental skill. From there, spam your normal attacks to accumulate Frostglow stacks and unleash his special charged attack for 2 extra Frostglow stacks. Once you hit the maximum 8 stacks, immediately cast Traveler's elemental burst, then switch back to Yae Miko to restart the rotation. Cryotraveler is easy to play. C1 allows Traveler to restore 5-point energy every time he deals stellar damage. This effect can trigger once every 0.5 seconds. C2, whenever Traveler's elemental skill deals damage, he gives 60 EM exclusively to the active character for 5 seconds. If that character who's receiving this buff triggers stellar reaction or deals direct stellar damage, the elemental mastery bonus increases to 120. C3 increases 3 level of elemental burst. This is a good constellation since elemental burst serves as the Traveler's primary damage source. C4 extends the duration of the elemental skill by 25%. Originally, Traveler's elemental skill lasts for 12 seconds with 15 seconds cooldown. This 25% extension increases the duration from 12 seconds to 15 seconds, matching its cooldown perfectly, meaning it will always be active as long as you remember to press it. C5 increases 3 level of elemental skill. This only serves as a bridge to his C6 because elemental skill only work for applying cryo. We can't rely on its damage. C6 essentially turns Cryotraveler into light version of ODETTE. Every time your elemental skill hits an enemy, you accumulate 1 Frostglow stack up to a maximum of 8. Normally, these stacks function only for increasing damage and hit instance of Cryotraveler's own burst. However, once you unlock C6, every stack of Frostglow consumed when casting his elemental burst will also grant 5% stellar damage bonus to all party members except the Traveler itself for 15 seconds. A maximum 40% increase can be obtained in this way by consuming all 8 Frostglow stacks. If you look at their kits side by side, Traveler's kit is almost an exact mirror of ODETTE's. The only difference is the numbers and where their damage is allocated. Both ODETTE's and the Traveler's elemental skills deal continuous damage that persists even when they are off-field, and both of their bursts are designed to deal nuke damage. The catch is, ODETTE's stellar damage is loaded into her elemental skill, while her burst deals standard cryo damage. For the Cryotraveler, it's the exact opposite. His burst deals stellar damage, while his elemental skill deals standard cryo damage. ODETTE's passive provides a stellar damage bonus to the entire team except herself, which is exactly what the Traveler's C6 does. Seriously, their kits are so structurally similar. Cryotraveler is amazing, entirely free-to-play option for players who want to dive into stellar mechanic without spend any wishes on new 5-star characters. Thanks to his passive talents that can reliably convert basic elemental reactions into their powerful stellar version. If your Traveler is at C5 or below, his function excellently as an on-field DPS or a consistent off-field cryo applicator. But once you unlock C6, He transformed into a good buffer for the entire Stellar team, whether you place him in Stellar Conduct or Stellar-Swirl Teamcomp. Most importantly, with the arrival of his new signature weapon, Traveler has officially leveled up into a highly reliable character for facing any endgame challenges. It even enhances his performance across his previous elements, meaning like the Cryotraveler can now hit significantly harder than ever before. That wraps up our character guide video for Cryotraveler. Thank you so much for watching and happy grinding, travelers!